What up, Dice Crew? Now look, I want to weigh in on that whole altercation that took place with Devin Haney, right? Shout out to him, his whole team, and everybody, right? But I got certain things to speak on pertaining to that situation. And it's just some advice. I ain't bashing, I ain't telling people what to do. But, from what they saying is like, Devin Haney, you fired the dude up. You put your hands on him. And allegedly, this dude was being racist. And then, from what I did see, it seemed like other individuals in the same crew with Devin Haney, took off on that individual too, right? So we got to start using our brains and start really value our position. Like if you work so hard for you to be the leader or the boss or the captain or whatever, then act like it. Because when you put your hands on somebody and you got your people with you and they put their hands on somebody, then 8 out of 10, the next thing we're going to be hearing about is a lawsuit against Devin Haney and his team. You know what I mean? So was it really the wise things to do? I don't think it was. But I got to keep it a Benji. When people do certain things, it can bring you out of your element. You can kind of, get very upset and you might lose your thought process at that moment. So I'm not saying that everybody's perfect and you can't make mistakes. But at the same time, a lot of good systems and teams and groups and crews have all been brought down behind poor leadership because a leader wants to prove that they're just as down as everybody else in the crew. If you ain't got it already in the past and people knowing that you ain't nothing to mess with, then sometimes you got to just chalk that up. You can't continue to be trying to prove that you're down and you one of the people that's like, not disrespect, but on the lower level of things. You know what I'm saying? That's just not smart. You could have even just moved along. Y'all could have walked away. Then one or maybe two or whoever could have approached that individual and did what they did to him. But at that moment, Devin Haney wasn't there. He was somewhere on the other side of the playing field. He wasn't nowhere close to that situation. He didn't tell a person to do something to him. And Devin Haney didn't put his hands on that person himself. And that way we could avoid, we can avoid a lawsuit. But what you did now is like, okay, people can say you down, you willing to fight, you with the fellas. You want to, when you with the fellas, you want to be equal with the fellas. So everybody can prove they tough at the same time, right? So now it's like, if the lawsuit come, that's going to be a lot of money taken out of y'all pockets. You got people that can, it could be a possibility that you could get prosecuted for that and put in jail. That's a lot more money that's missing. That's not getting brought in because you busy, you locked up and you can't handle no business. So when your team and everybody is falling victim financially because you're not there as the breadwinner or, the main source of income or the person who opened up doors for everybody to eat, did you really make the right choice? And I gotta keep saying it. I'm not saying that everybody's perfect. I'm not saying, people do make mistakes. Sometimes our temper can get the best of us. But people gotta start learning. If you wanna be the boss, act like it. Don't have no insecurities. Don't be trying to act like you trying to prove yourself, that you tough, that you can fight, shoot a knuckle up. Quit running around with the fellas and acting like you one of the, you just with the fellas. It's not high school. You're not having no fight at the movies or at the mall or at the football game. It's not that type of scenario. People have to start valuing their position. That's why certain things get brought down, because poor leadership. If you want to roll up, if you want to work so hard to become something, act like you're that person. Don't tarnish everything you work for by trying to prove yourself. Now, if a person definitely oppose a threat, then do what you got to do. But when you got like one guy and you guys, multiple of you guys, it's not too much of a threat. You just reacting off of disrespect. And I get that too. You're not supposed to tolerate no disrespect. But you also got to know the difference from a person trying to sucker you in. You know, when you a celebrity or you a person with money, sometimes it's not about a person really meaning what they're saying to you. It's just trying to get you to get brought out of your character so people can file that lawsuit or possibly put you in jail. And that's just the truth in the matter. So we have to be smart and be aware of what we do. And we got to have other individuals around us that can counsel us and give us good advice if we're not thinking ourselves. You know, sometimes we all can't just think clear all the time, but you got to have people in position that can do some thinking when you are, you know, not able to think appropriately at the moment. So that's just something I want to speak on. You know, shout out to Devin Haney and them. You know, hopefully other individuals can learn something from this. You know, play your part, play your position. Think you got people in position for a reason. You got money for a reason. You know, it's a lot of things you can do. Like, you know, they were saying that the dude was being racist, you know. So what you could have did as a boss, David Haney, is the next day you could have found a community or anywhere, any group, any situation pertaining to the black community. You could have donated or passed out, did something that only cost you about $5,000 or $10,000. You know what I'm saying? Backpacks, bikes, whatever. If he's anti-rape, if he's racist and he hate the black community, then you just wake up tomorrow and you just go donate and you show love and you uplift the black community, because he probably will hate to see that. You know what I'm saying? That's what a boss could have done. Now, instead of, you know, costing yourself about 5 or 10,000 or whatever the case may be, this payout that you end up might having to do can be this payout can be very, 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 very much more than just the 10 or 5,000, you know. So again, it's not trying to bash David Haney, but it's just something that I felt like I want to speak on and give people advice about, because I have seen this happen and it seemed like it keep going on with a lot of people when they, you know, the leaders or the boss or the captain, and you know, they still kind of want to operate like they're, you know, the worker or the soldier or the security or the goon, and that's just not the way it got to be. Again, if everybody have to be involved, if it's an all hands on deck situation, then that's another scenario. You know what I mean? But hey, you know, I'm sure y'all probably all saw that video by now, so you know, y'all could watch some of that stuff. Y'all heard what I had to say. Dive in the comment and let me know how y'all feel about it. Shout out to the Dice crew. I'm out.